Hello, everyone. Welcome back. I hope you all had some amazing sessions and learned lots of things. I just want to do a quick shout out to folks that I met in the networking area. Tolo, South Africa representing. So nice to meet you. Robert Gillette from Maryland, Howard Craw, and also Kevin Mackey. So if you haven't had a chance to drop in there, please do. That's some really interesting people. So welcome back, and we are actually going to see the second set of cannabis stories. I think this is my favorite part. Mike, can you please cue up the video?
The impact and the mark I want to make within the industry is changing the negative perception
so that more people can learn about the chemistry of the plant and their own bodies, and to understand how cannabis can improve their lives.
Growing up, I was strongly against cannabis because of the stigma associated with it.
Years of false propaganda and miseducation.
I own my own dispensary now, and through cannabis, I have been able to make connections with cool, genuine people.
I hope to leave a positive mark on the cannabis industry
by helping veterans and showing a different side in what a veteran can be.
To adapt my pharmaceutical experience and technology to build innovation to transform the way we think about and use cannabis.
Not everybody realizes that we exist and excel at every level of the industry.
There is room for everybody in this industry.
We get to set the standards, setting the standard.
Cannabis has impacted me and brought me fulfillment in my career, something I had been searching for.
And it's just a whole new world of opportunities.
That's a story that's yet to be told.
I love seeing our friends up there. Like, it's amazing. Quick shout out to Amy Rose. Thank you for making these videos happen. We know how hard it is to herd all of these cats, so thank you for doing that. And speaking of cannabis stories, Jacoby, tell me a little bit more about yours. I think it was in the wellness space that this all happened.
Yeah, I mean, the two things most important to me about this industry are it's absolutely the patient first and patient access, and then opportunities to build wealth, which I had the pleasure to talk to Vlad and Chris about. But, I was an applied math major in school, quite a little stoner in college, but that was just kind of the beginning. I graduated and took a job at a grow. My parents are like, "You have a math degree. Why are you building grow tables as a maintenance man?" But really, I just got a foundational knowledge of the industry, and I was obsessed with literally watching the nugs and the plant grow and helping facilitate that. And, I had an uncle in New York that had stage 4 colon cancer. And I know this is recorded, so we'll just say he magically got the product that he needed from people in Colorado. And it was honestly his lifeline. It was the only thing that kind of helped him get through the chemo process. And there was a moment when he went to hospice, and it would be the final 3 months of his life. I quit my job. I went out there, and I was in that hospital 6 out of 7 days. And I just realized like how important and vital just taking a puff on the vape pen was for him. And then also that this crazy experience happened where I started consulting for companies from my computer sitting in the hospital because of my knowledge. And it's those two things, patient access and the opportunity for me to actually build my own wealth for my family. So that's what I love about this plant. We all have our own story and our own journey, and I'm very grateful for mine. And shout out Fred Holland, my uncle that put me on. But enough about me. I really don't like talking about myself. I want to transition to our next speaker. She is one of the dopest people I know, and introducing her will be our good friend Karen Meshkov. Take it away.
Hello, cannabis friends and fam. This is so dope. I'm just so glad everybody's here. My name is Karen Meshkov. I am the Director of Business Development at Flower Hire. I'm just going to take a second to talk just a little bit about what brings me to this conversation. I use she and her as my pronouns. My friends and my colleagues in this industry call me K-Mesh, and that's because I am not a Karen. What I am is a Philly girl. I was born and raised, and I live and work. Before I came to cannabis, I was a small business owner and an entrepreneur in the health and wellness space. And it was in that setting that I really became aware that the cannabis is medicine, and that there are people who've been using this plant to help and heal themselves for hundreds, if not thousands of years. Might be getting my history wrong. It was around the same time that I became awoke to the issues of racial injustice and white supremacy that underscore our American experience. I co-produced a documentary in 2012 about the intersection of mass incarceration, systemic racism, and the drug war called Broken on All Sides. In 2015, I started a transracial family. I have a 5-year-old son named Asa. He is Black, and I am his white adoptive mother. And since I was chosen by his birth mother, Samantha, I have humbly walked the path of being a white ally in the fight to end racial injustice. So this is the work that motivates me every day in my role at Flower Hire as Director of Business Development. We are on a mission to build a more conscious cannabis community, one hire at a time. And I am so excited to introduce the inimitable Christine De La Rosa to the main stage. Hey, Christine.
Hi, K-Mesh.
Welcome, and thank you. For those of you who don't know Miss Chris, she is an operator, activist, and advocate. She's the CEO and co-founder of the famed People's Dispensary with locations in Portland and Oakland. TPD is well known across the industry for this incredible visionary model that they have built by doing well by doing good. A couple things that make TPD unique. They have one of the most diverse BIPOC leadership cannabis teams in the industry. They have an extensive community empowerment program. They have a jobs model for returning citizens and a unique fundraising, like grassroots fundraising model, which allows people to own equity in her company for as little as $1,000. Christine her work is informed by a background in tech and entrepreneurship and her deeply personal connection to the plant. She had, unfortunately, very debilitating complications from undiagnosed lupus. She went on a journey of self-healing with CBD and THC, and over the course of 9 months, healed herself, got off opioids and other pharmaceuticals, and went into remission, where she is, thank God, healthy to this day. And that was the start of Christine's journey to educate, empower, and destigmatize the plant, especially for communities of color. Christine is an advisory board member of the Access and Innovation Project, Cannabis Doing Good, and Regenibus. She's also a member of the Diversity, Equity, Equity, and Inclusion (DEI) committee for the NCIA, and she's a regular presenter at such places as South by Southwest, Hall of Flowers, MJ BizCon. The list goes on. The topic of today's talk is gender parity in the C-suite, getting to gender parity via anti-racist and inclusive strategies. Christine, this topic is a large and complex one, and we're so grateful to have someone with the depth of your experience, perspective to help us understand what's happening on the vanguard. So I know you've been working very closely with the CIA and the ArcView Group, two of the industry's most respected thought leadership and policy groups, on some white papers, and I thought that would be a good place for us to start.
Sure. Well, first of all, thank you so much for that intro, K-Mesh. I appreciate it. Thanks to Flower Hire for having me here, and thank you to NCIA and ArcView who sponsored these papers. These are 5 papers that we've put together with a group of about 14 women who wrote them, and they are being released starting today, actually. And it took us 9 months to write them. So they're very much all volunteer work, by the way. So let's make sure that's clear. They did take us 9 months to do it. And the paper that I co-wrote was the gender parity in the C-suite, and also co-wrote equity, how to get equity in your business. I mean, I wrote 2 of those papers alongside other writers. And to me, they're very groundbreaking because they really tackle issues that are very specific to women, to LGBTQIA people, to BIPOC women in the cannabis industry that we're facing today. I think that we have a video. This is one of my co-authors, and I thought it was a really great moment for her when she was putting together the video of what we did, the three of us, the three women that wrote this paper.
I'm from New York, and I've lived in 5 countries on 4 continents. I can confidently say that in the United States and in many other countries, we have not reached gender equality, especially not in leadership or positions of power. In the US, women make up 51% of the population and 58% of the workforce. Yet, in Fortune 500 companies, we make up only 6% of CEOs. And if we look at cannabis, we make up 8% of CEOs. That means that in today's cannabis industry, 92% of CEOs are male. Working in Canatech, supply chain, and sales, I'm still often the only woman in the room. This paper series provides research on the fiscal benefits of having a diverse leadership team. Companies with more women in leadership roles are consistently more profitable. Women-led startups produce more than twice the revenue for every dollar invested. The cannabis industry will have more financial success with diverse leadership and ownership, but we won't get there without a conscious and concerted commitment to see the task through to completion. This paper series provides tools and roadmaps on how you can contribute to identifying and dismantling systemic roadblocks. We will all benefit from having more women, and especially women of color, in positions of leadership and ownership. The cannabis industry can and must set an example. Join us in creating a truly inclusive, equitable, and anti-racist industry.
Beautiful, beautiful, and challenging stats there. Christine, do you want to start us off and sort of talk about some of the things in that video, or we can talk about DEI wherever you want to jump off from?
Oh, sure. I just think that when we're talking about gender parity in the C-suite, when we're talking about gender parity in the cannabis industry, we have a really unique opportunity because we are, in the legal side of the market, a nascent industry. And in order for us to learn from other industry mistakes, we really need to see what exactly is happening. In 2003, there was a large research paper that was done that was estimating that $8 billion a year was being spent on diversity efforts. Well, here's my question to you. $8 billion in 2003, it's 2021, right? So we're like 18 years down the line, and we still don't have diversity in the C-suite. And I think that that's really important to talk about, right? Like, we keep throwing money at it, and it's not happening. So we have to ask ourselves, what is wrong with, what are we doing wrong not only as an industry, but as a country of businesses, small businesses, large businesses, medium businesses? What are we doing wrong? And I really believe, this is why the entire suite of papers is called Building New Foundations. I really believe that it's because we haven't done the foundational work in our companies to get to diversity, equity, and inclusion. And that foundational work is anti-racist work in our businesses. Across the board, everybody, every single company needs to be making sure that they're doing that kind of work. And then I think we will eventually get to DEI, and we won't need to spend $8 billion a year on it.
$8 billion. I think the number that was in the paper is 85% of leadership roles are still held by white men, despite over $135 billion.
That's right.
Stunning, right? So, right, and this anti-racist work being what needs to happen, what needs to be done, so we don't look back in 10 years and go, well, we spent another $100 billion. We're still exactly where we started.
Right. And that's looking at all levels. Like, you have to look at the levels of all the things that we're doing, like as women, as people of color, as BIPOC women. What are those glass ceilings that we're hitting? What happens with that? I think that MJ Biz Daily came out with a report maybe last year where it said, look, 36% of the CEOs or the C-suite in the cannabis is women. But what they didn't do is break down what that was. How many of those women are Black women? How many of those women are Mexican women? How many of those women are LGBTQ women? And when you start to break that out, you're going to see 2%, 4%, 6%. And so I want to make sure that as an industry, we're not patting ourselves on the back as if we've done something when we still have those same kind of anti-racist ideals that are still in our industry that we have to really address.
Christine, I think we have just a few more minutes, but I wondered if we could talk a little bit about cancel culture. This is a big topic, and I just want to hear from you. What is your perspective? I really appreciated in our prior conversations you're sharing your paradigm for how you see this, and how we can address this for folks to get them to walk their walk, or walk their talk in a more compelling way.
Yeah, I think that there's places both for calling out and calling in. So that's the thing that you have to figure out what works for you. But one of the things is that really Kelly Paris, who's one of the co-authors on this, really taught me over the course of the last 9 months of really working deeply with her, was that you have to be able to set aside your shame around systemic racism, right? Because everybody was born into this already system, this institutionalized racism. What your responsibility is to understand that you're benefiting from that, and then work tirelessly to make sure that you're doing everything in your power for your company, whether you're a C-suite person or a bud tender, to make sure that that doesn't exist in your company. And so part of that is being able to call people in when you see that's not actually caring about the fact that people were incarcerated for this and are just out here, raising $2 billion in SPAC money so that they can pick up distressed assets from people of color. Maybe you stop and think that's not the right way to do it. And you don't go and say, like, I don't want to go on Instagram and be like, you suck. I want to be like, how can I teach you to take all this money that you've gotten and really put it back into the communities that built the industry? And that has been the theme for this 4 hours. If you look at it, Vlad said it, Chris said it, and I'm going to say it again. I'm going to reiterate it. You will not be successful, not successful as you can be, and leave tons of money on the table and hurt lots more people unless you work to become an anti-racist and inclusive industry and company.
Amen. Amen. Christine, can you take us through some of the actionable items on this report? Can we talk through a little bit about that?
Sure, absolutely. So some of the key actionable takeaways from the C-suite paper that we put there specifically for CEOs, CMOs, CFOs is, hey, look at your bias. You need to do some anti-bias training. One of the biggest things that hurts companies is that they don't even know they have the bias, right? It's so deeply ingrained into how we were brought up. Think about this is your brain on drugs, right? You implicitly, now that's in your brain, right? Chris talked about that. It's in your brain. And now you're like, when you see somebody that's smoking a joint, you might have an instinct like, oh, they're not smart, or oh, they're not productive. That's an implicit bias that you have, not because somebody said that to you, but that's the framework in which you were born and you grew up in, and that's what you have. So we have a lot of information about anti-bias training, not only for your company, but also just for yourself. Because even if your company's like, I don't really think that that's worthwhile, you as a person should think it's worthwhile and do that work.
Yeah, absolutely. And other key recommendations for, again, and I brought this up in subsequent sessions, like we have a large systemic, philosophical, and political movement that we have to work on, right? All of us, all the time, to dismantle systemic racism. But then there's also the reality of we have businesses to run today, tomorrow. We have bills to pay. We have, stacks of resumes to go through and hiring to be done. So can you talk also about sort of the applicable practices we can bring into our organizations, today and tomorrow?
I think that one of the biggest things that you can do today is understand that, yes, I run a business as well. Yes, it's very expensive to run a cannabis business. And if you don't do this work at the beginning, it's going to be much more expensive for you later. So one of the things that we talk about in the toolkits is, who do you reach out to get this kind of training for your staff, for yourself, for your C-suite. That's literally something that you can do right now. And it's not as expensive as buying, a manufacturing piece of equipment. So your workforce should be invested the way you invest in your equipment, even more so.
Yes, you would think so. You would think so. Anything else, Christine, that you feel like in context to the work you've done with NCIA and ArcView, can you talk a little bit about how people can access these papers? Where can we download them? Are there going to be discussion groups or ways that folks can get tuned in and plugged in around this research?
Yes, actually, if you put up the screen that has the downloadable link, they can right now go and download the C-suite paper. That's another, sorry. This particular one is for an event we're having tomorrow on Clubhouse with Kelly Perez as the guest, one of the writers of this, which is awesome. So please, if you're in Clubhouse tomorrow,
that looks good too.
yeah, it's going to be great. You can also download the Gender Parity in the C-suite at this link, which is live right now. And then the other 4 papers will be going live next week. And then on February 5th, we're going to be having a webinar with all of the authors on there. And you can get to that, to register for that from that link.
Excellent. And we will put that into our newsletter as well, and make sure that everybody who's here today can get registered for that. As I said to folks, this is really the beginning of conversations we're going to be having this year, next year, and as we continue to live into the reality as we build this industry. Christine, thank you so much. This was incredible. So good to be here with you. Really appreciate you taking the time.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Hey, Lulu, there you are. I was hanging up on myself for a second. Nice to see you both.
Very wonderful to hear from Christine De La Rosa, the OG. I kind of want to just call her the MVP.
Totally.
And
we should do that. We should just start doing that.
Seriously. And look, I don't think you should start a company without women in the highest of positions. So insert Lulu, my co-founder. How you doing?
Yes to all of that. I'm missing you all in real life in New York. I'm hoping the events that you all were hosting the past couple of years were just incredible, and were, for me, like where I built my network, like where it all came together for me. So I just want to say, like, thank you to both of you. It's really true. Like, Rebel has just been a part of my heart, and I'm just so appreciative to the two of you to bringing the community together and really starting my journey. So thank you, and hope to see you both in person sometime very soon.
I love it. Thank you for the great word. Seriously, thank you everybody for joining. These last couple hours have flown by. Like, I can't even imagine. I probably met like 6 people from Colombia to the UK. Lulu, I think you had South Africa clocking in. This has just been an amazing experience. And I first want to thank all of you again, just for being a part of this. I also want to thank Sloan, especially. I think if you see by the end of this, his shoulders will go down just a little bit and he can relax because he has made it happen. So thank you, Sloan. David Belsky, my man, CEO of Flower Hire. Thank you for thinking of us and letting us be a part of this. It has been honestly an honor. Lulu, I know you got a couple things you wanted to say before we head out, and we're going to hand it over to these fine gentlemen.
So we are hosting the after party. So we have a Clubhouse after party channel happening with Vladimir from Happy Monkey. So please do join us after musical performance. Also, if you're interested in East Coast cannabis, Jacoby and I have an educational platform that we run out of New York City. And all through February, we're going to be doing a 4-part series. So please do find out more information on therebel.com.
Yeah, and a couple more thank yous before we hand it over. There's like over 50 speakers. We couldn't do it without you guys. We have a number of sponsors that made it happen. The Flower Hire and Engine Science team. Look at these guys cooking. And look, the puppeteer behind all of this, Mike, the AV guy, Mike. I love when the AV guy's name is Mike. It's perfect. Thank you guys so much for making this happen and letting us be a part of it. Wonderful conversations. I learned a lot myself. And on that note, we are out. I will hand it over to you, gentlemen. Thank you guys so much.
All Unbelievable.
Amazing day. I first want to say, Christine and Karen, ending on that note, I think if we can leverage our network and our platform to continue to bring more awareness to having gender equality in the executive function, whether it's cannabis, whether it's other industries, there's not going to be change until we don't stop talking about it. So that was a phenomenal ending to a phenomenal day.
Yes, thank you so much to everyone who joined us here today. It was an incredible event. And I just want to share some of the exciting statistics from the event. We had over 1,200 people show up today to enjoy sessions. At one point, there was over 1,000 people watching us on the main stage. We connected over 400 people in real-time networking conversations. We had over 3,000 chat messages exchanged on the chat, and people were connecting all over the place, which is an exciting thing to see. And we couldn't be more thankful for this community and everyone coming together to be a part of Careers in Cannabis. So, without further ado, we're about to rock it. Am I right, Dave?
I think we're about to rock it. I think we're close.
We can't wait to welcome to the stage DJ Babu and Raka of Dilated Peoples. What's up?
What up? What up? How you guys doing?
We love it.
Wonderful. Let me make sure the sound and everything is the way it needs to be. No
reverb.
Extra shout out to Michael Melhorn, me and the Mixmaster Media Mike over there, getting it all done, building these bridges and making sure we could bring this to you live. And we appreciate everybody for staying tuned with us, and also for celebrating Careers in Cannabis. It's the inaugural virtual talent conference for CIC, so this is really cool to be a part of this. Should we get into it? All right, let's do it. Let's do it. Let's do it. So we're gonna turn this up a little bit, make sure everybody is live. Once again, shout out to everybody for coming down and being a part of this today. Very important. Showing support for the people that actually work in the industry. So, yeah, we're gonna do it like this. Yeah. Yo, I go, a 1, 2, yo, yeah. I go through rivers, so I don't leave a scent. I rock in both directions, believe one set of prints. It's just a little trick of the indigenous, developed in the vision of what religion is. I ponder understanding and the underhanded. I plan to build my ship and man it to another planet under heavy surveillance. Many different agents, some are camouflage, others are very blatant. I study weapon systems and vocal fighting forms. I'm many moves ahead, them thoughts are highly formed. It's like time times time is Times Square. Went there, saying rocker, you don't rhyme fair. But I never dummy lyrics and then kick it to my people. It's about communication, not a rapper's ego. Messages I sneak in, they seem to seep in. Mixed with alcohol and weed on the weekend. Shared among friends like various sins. One day it clicks, it's no longer dim. Time release capsules humble the headstrong, and thoughts are taking me head on a dead wrong. I work the angle sharp and precise. Dilated people, so you better build twice. Act like you know, not now but right now, y'all. CIC, dilated peoples. I work the angle sharp and precise. Dilated people, so you better build twice. Act like you know, not now but right now. Yeah. Dilated peoples. That's Dilated, LA's finest. Happy to be a part of this once again. And my DJ Babu is, of course, live in the building. So we're going to pass it over to my man Babu. World famous Beat Junkies in full effect. Check out IBJOS, Beat Junkie Institute of Sound, BJIOS. That's how we're doing it. Careers in Cannabis. What's up, Babs? How you feeling out there?
What's good, Rock? Can you guys hear me out there?
I can hear you fine. Rocking for the people.
Check 1 2. 1 2 1 2. What's good, Rock? Can you guys hear me out there?
Yeah.
Let me know what's good.
Drop it.
There it is. Peace to everybody out there. CareersInCannabis.com. Shouts out to my man Rocka. Killed it, brother. Good to see you.
Good to see you.
Yeah, we're gonna do it like this.
DJ Babu. Careers in cannabis. Engine Sciences. Flower Hire. Virtual Talent Conference. Set it off. Careers in Cannabis. Engine Sciences. Flower Hire.
Yeah, the crime pays, nigga pays. Chopping up the change with cocaine. Made it through my whole month with my lights out bright day. Once this shit get boy, you die, gang. Homeboy just caught HIV, he that's so. Have we ever hit the same bitch before, body? Have we ever hit the same bitch before, body? Business, niggas be fucking the same insurance in the biz.
You got control of stuff and do it right. Look to the sky and you will feel how to live a life that's real. Truth and perfect harmony when the spirit is
These nigga crime pays.
Out right about now. World famous beat junkie.
the sky, and you will feel how to live a life that's real, truth and perfect harmony when the spirit is
Careers in Cannabis.
I was this Scooterville. Digital diamonds business. Black. I was in high school, playing the game. These cards were business ones. Teachers looking at me like I thought I couldn't give a f***. In high school, playing the game. These cards were business ones. Teachers looking at me like I thought I couldn't give a f***. I was in high school, playing the game. These cards were business ones. Teachers looking at me like I thought I couldn't give a f***. But What they didn't know was that I didn't show them my potential. It was frozen till I sliced them like a shogun. This is the art, words on point like a blow dart. If you've never heard of this bastard, then you don't know bars. Passed out the disc like I handed out the dick. Mixed the beats so hard that they were damaging your whip. Went to college for a year and a half with no credits. I just went to rehearse the verses and band edits. I was working at GameStop and drove up to LA to get a 5 spot after closing up shop. These hipsters calling me hipster is getting old, makes me sick. Man, you couldn't get more punk with extra holes in your dick. I don't give a fuck about you or the rules of your clique. I'd be willing to bet and lose it all at the drop of a shit.
We vibing right now. World famous Beat Junkie Institute of Sound. DJ Babu live on the ones and twos. Shout out to Flower Hire. Shout out the whole team behind the first comprehensive cannabis-focused career site, careersandcannabis.com. Shout out to all the speakers and shout out to everyone for attending this inaugural virtual talent conference today. Flower Hire, Engine Science. Yeah.
him instead. Could've aimed at his legs, but I knocked off his head. Fly as fuck in the streets, fly as fuck in the fed. Now the money green, go y'all for the bag. Now the coupe by the mill in the head. Now my bitch got Stella on the ass. Red on the soles while your baby mom's trash. How many bricks in the stash? War ricks, but my mind was on raps. Reverse the whole way like Sonny in a jag. Nigga, it's the return of the mask. This shit feel like Hitler took. Motherfucker. This shit feel like Hitler took. Hey yo, this shit feel like Hitler took. Shit sound beautiful. This shit feel like Hitler took.
Go.
Oh my Dutch master niggas get high. On my white now niggas. Oh my Dutch master niggas get high. On my white now niggas. Oh my Dutch master niggas get high. On my white now niggas. Oh my Dutch master niggas get high. On my white owl niggas get high. On my Philly smoking niggas get high. On my bamboo niggas get high. On my zigzag niggas get high. On my bong junkie sound. On my salad smoking niggas get high. On my ass crushing niggas get yeah. And my weed smoking niggas is that. Come on. Bull weed to smoke, I hope you with that. I still got the shit to make you feel right. Buy a nickel bag, smoke a little line, get high tonight. Right before I pull off a new camper and take it higher than the skyscraper. Roll my L and licorice paper. While we riding get ridiculous paper, pass me your backwoods, backwoods, and hustle drove back in the hood. Best believe I always got what you need. Always with a bunch of motherfuckers crying broke, smoking my weed. Buy the weed for once, I'm wishing you would with no dough. Feeling bad to smoke, wishing you could. You'd be surprised to be the one to roll faster, to be the pastor at the movement, expert in rolling Dutch master shit. Yeah, before you niggas reply, light the L and take a toke and blow your weed in the sky and get to my Dutch master niggas get to my white owl niggas get to my Philly smoke niggas get
you know
to my cognac niggas get to my bamboo bitches getting see I ain't done with y'all niggas yet. Done with y'all niggas yet.
One, two. DJ Babu live in the mix, y'all. World famous Beat Junkies, Beat Junkie Institute of Sound. Doing it live for you and yours today. Shout out to Flower High and the whole team behind careersatcannabis.com, Engine Sciences. You see y'all. Sloan Barber, Dave Belsky, Amy Rose Eisenbach, the whole squad. Yeah. Flower higher.
Hey, hey, where I go? Hey, where I go? What happened, son? People ask me. Hey, where I go? What happened, son? People ask me. What? Yo, Dilla, you smoke weed? Oh, yeah. And I just tell her, yeah. 2 weeks later, they smoking weed. That's what I'm talking about. I ain't here to tell you not to smoke weed. Everybody get high. I'm here to apply the pressure. You, and you. Come down to the deep. I got some shit to blow your mind. Come here, my pill. Let me apply the pressure. The pressure. Come here, my pill. Let me apply the pressure. The pressure. What up, my nigga? What up with your world? Ain't shit. Just got off the cell with this girl. What's up with y'all? Yeah, you know what we about to do. What the hell? Come on, take a puff or two. Yeah, right. He draws bees like Dookie draws flies. Just like the weed draws me to get high. Now I'm not trying to bend your arm. I just want you to take a hit of the bomb. That's all. Just want come on, cool it. I'm not foolish. Quit pulling my leg, baiting me like Cobb. My name ain't Craig, and I ain't lost my job. Don't mind being odd from out the bunch. And y'all cornering me ain't stopping me from fooling it. Niggas smoking so bad, why everybody doing it? Fuck that bull. Come think about it real. Let it change your whole style and feel. Go ahead with that. Come near my pill. Let me apply the pressure. The pressure. The pressure. Come near my pill. Let me apply the pressure. The pressure. I got the smoke to blow your mind. I got some shit to blow your mind. I got the smoke to blow your mind.
That really gonna stop. You got me that killer? Yeah, let me get that purple too. That purple. Yeah, really? You got me that killer? Yeah, let me get that purple too. That purple. Yeah, really don't stop. You got me that killer? Yeah, let me get that purple too. That purple. Yeah, really don't stop. You got me that killer? Yeah, let me get that purple too. That purple. Yeah, really don't stop. You got me that killer? Yeah, let me get that purple too. That purple. Yeah, really don't stop. You got me that killer? Yeah, let me get that purple too. That purple. Yeah, really don't stop tripping. You got me that killer? Yeah, let me get that purple too. You got me that killer? Yeah, let me get that purple. You got me that killer? Yeah, let me purple too. That purple. Yeah, really don't stop tripping. I ain't got no change. Yeah, really don't stop tripping. I ain't got no change. Yeah, really don't stop tripping. I ain't got no change. Yeah, really don't stop tripping. I ain't got no change. It's my.
Smoking on the trees at 100. Smoking on the trees at 100. Smoking on the trees at 100. Smoking on the trees at Smoking on the trees at 100 degrees. Never touch the breeze, just a sticky green leaves.
Put it in the Dutch, it gets stuck on your touch.
Pack it in your bong, last long, have you on touch.
Light it up.
Roll it.
Pass it around.
The scientists are found. Check the real.
Look over here. Yeah, I would like that glass ball. That big blue glass one right there. $200 one right there.
I don't see it. Do you have the money for it?
Right there to the left.
Okay, cash only.
Try some of this. It's absolutely dynamite.
Beat junkie sound. Grab them? Yeah. Careers in cannabis.
My man with the roster got the best green pasta. Tree trunk bud. What that good shit'll cost you?
Anyway, give me an ounce of that shit. I have that shit with Mad Lib. We could bounce to that shit. Make a batch of cookies, it'll make you feel like a rookie. Make you eat a lot. Maybe go get some nookie.
high power shit so we could do our astral traveling.
Around the world on a smoke tour, dabbling.
Yeah.
Amongst the best weed, Amsterdam and humble seeds. Weeds is what we all needs.
Light it up.
Roll it.
Pass it around.
The scientists are sound. Check the real compound.
Hello, well, the first sensations may be felt instant having smoked some. An hour after having eaten it. Be slowly into a downward condition, inch by inch, sliding upwards, but if you've eaten it, the effects may come upon you suddenly.
Live at the Careers in Cannabis.
Strike full force in the middle.
Sending this up to Dome. MF Dome, you already know.
Talk to him, bro.
Yeah. Once again, y'all, Flower High and the team behind the first comprehensive cannabis-focused career site. This is careersincannabis.com. You already know. Thank you for attending today. Thank you to all the speakers, all the people that signed up to come down and rock with us. Once again, shout out to Sloan Barber. Shout out to Dave Belsky, Amy Rose Eisenbach. Shout out to everyone over at Ancient Sciences. The whole Flower High, massive and crew. CareersInCannabis.com, y'all. Giving a shout out to MF Dome all the way up top in heaven. Extra flavor. Shout out to the whole world famous Beat Junkies crew. Whole Dilated People's crew, my man Evidence, Alchemist, Far Right, everybody. Make sure you check out that Liquid Junkies too. Check out Beat Junkies, Institute of Sound, BGIOS. Matt Wick, I see you, homeboy. Yeah. Yeah.
Let me know if y'all with me, y'all.
Dilated, world famous Beat Junkies.
Let me know if y'all with me, y'all.
CareersInCannabis.com.
Just a couple of things I want to say.
Building bridges. Networking the network.
I only play the games that I win at and stay the same with more rhymes than it's ways to skin cats. As a matter of fact, let me rephrase. With more rhymes and ways to fillet felines in these days. Watch the path of the black one, the super villain. He reps clubs for Del in the drunken stupid chillin'. Ready and willing to inadvertently fall that plan of any rhymer, whiner or spoiled brat. Who got more snottier flows and snotty nose and holds mics like he knows karate body blows? Nobody knows the trouble I see from the MPV fly dirty tailing the bubble I-30. For the record, this is some shit I just thought of, y'all. Science fiction that's not admissible in no court of law. I live to rock mics in 3D. The only reason I see to stop to snuff the TV. I heard beats that sound like karaoke with monkey rhymers on the leash like don't have this fairy choke me. Hit him with a penny so we can get these peanuts. And I thought we was nuts. I used to get free cuts. They locked Lex Luthor up in Green Haven. Since when a nigga never really been too clean shaven. Misbehaving rap stars need listening. Call me Mr. Bent. I'm at where your sister went. Intelligent, used to write and be well spoke. Now all a nigga wanna do is fight and sell. Tell joke. This could lead to catastrophe. About to stop the violence right after these last 3 shots from the black. A headlock, holding on to sanity by strands of that dreadlock. I said, bitch, let me set this shit off so I can get rich right quick. Then it hit me like the point of vacation. Nigga, come out and rock this nation like oxidation. A lot of niggas out is like oxidation in this world's strangest, most dangerous occupation. But you can do it, you the super like in your built-in villain, like Trife Kindred in all my children plotting, and it's sure to pay ends with some real mature women's and some more of their friends. When bad men roll tight, it's actual true, like a pack of big bamboo with natural glue. Who grip necks of Becks to triple X, who just came from 4D, ripple middle age right to him. Oh snap, it seems you walked into a trap through rap. Zoiks, this place is filled with pretender willies. One false move and get broke off like Ender Phillies. True believers, ain't nothing new to crook with special powers like how to tell the future. Rhyme of the month, 2 pages long. Busting off 2 gauges with my cape on wrong. Sun is on, remind me of a Raekwon tape song. With a fleet of super bads and status Ray Dawn charm. Let me know if y'all's with me, y'all. National and Geographic, down to the ball. Rap monster Alice City, y'all. To all my brothers who is doing unsettling bigs, you could've got away if it was not for them meddling kids.
DJ Babu. CareersAtCannabis.com. Once again, before we get up out of here, we gotta give a shout out to Flower Hire, Engine Sciences, the whole CareersAtCannabis.com crew, all the production people for making it happen, all the logistics people for building the bridges. Big love to Sloan Barber, Dave Belsky, of course Amy Rose Eisenbach for making the call. Shout out to my man Michael Melhorn for keeping everything tight.
And his own story was as curious as his narrative. The tale of his life is the tale of a writer of incredible vision, an astute analyst and pundit, a lyricist passionate and callous,
my DJ Babu live on the ones and
disaffected malcontent.
I spit that wonder rhymer shit. Me and my conglomerates shall remain anonymous. Caught up in the finest shit. Get that type of media coverage Obama get. Spit that Kurt Vonnegut kid. That blow your brain, Kurt Cobain, that Nirvana shit. Who gon' bring the game back? Who gon' spit that rainbow on the train tracks? That gold rope, that 5-finger ring rap. Running with my same pack. You can find the Christ where the lepers and the lames at. Life is like a dice game. One roll can land you in jail or cutting cake, blowing kisses in the rice rain. Nice whip, nice chain, the closet of skulls. The stench is like slave blood in Providence Hall. Yeah, they built my city on top of a grave. Nigga die, nigga get high and watch the parade. Back in the early 90s, where they at, where they at? Get the gat was a popular phrase. Ballet animals and rugbies was a popular craze. This the vivid memoirs of an obnoxious slave. I paved ways like Nat and Harriet. I'll blast on Judas Iscariot and peel off in the chariot. I'm sitting pretty, spitting flames, gripping grains. Ain't a damn thing changed.
My young lad, do you ask a dolphin how it swims? Or an eagle how it flies? That's right, you don't. Because that's what they were made to do. You are about to bear witness, my friends, to one of the greatest technological advances in modern history.
Yeah. CareersInCannabis.com. Shout out to my brother B. Finn. See you, homeboy. What's up, bad boy? We're gonna do it like this. Once again, thank everyone for coming down and rocking with us. The whole Flower Hire team, the whole Engine Sciences team, everybody at CareersInCannabis.com. Sloan Barber, Dave Belsky, Amy Rose Eisenbach, the whole squad, the whole brains and energy behind the whole operation. We appreciate y'all for coming down and rocking with us, for inviting us to come rock with the people. Before we get out of here, I'm gonna leave you with this, if it's cool. A little piece that I like to end anything I do with, to make sure you get to flow home with something on your mind that we want to leave you with, and we proceed with. War is life and war is death. War is a vacuum, but war is a breath. War is a war that could never be won, but war is the way Johnny got his gun. Now war, it brings students out in a rally. War is something that I see too much in Cali. War with black and war with brown and war with everyone as the sound resounds in war. More than you bargained for, cause war is blinding and war's a roar. War's getting picked off storming the shore, and war is how the rich control the poor. War is the boom of impending doom. War fills history books and fills tombs. War is my lyrics when I duel with drums. War is the shape of things to come. But war is suffering. War is bluffing. What is it good for? Absolutely nothing. War is one of my favorite groups. And war is why they turn y'all kids to troops. War between my zodiac twin. Cause one wanna do right, but one wanna sin. War is a loop that does not end. Cause war is often between kin and friend. Everywhere is war and rumors of war. I rap battle hymns cause tour is a war. Some war with God and some with the beast. Some war for war, but we war for peace. Peace, y'all. CareersInCannabis.com. That's what it is. Thank y'all for coming down. Let's do it again. Peace.